I don't know how the hell I'm about to explain half of the things that we went through during this period in history to my grandbabies. I don't know. I don't know where I start. I don't know where I finish. How am I going to tell my grandbabies that there was a time in history where we were forced to believe that a man, a whole entire man, could have a baby? How do I explain that? Can somebody in the comment section tell me right now, how do I explain to a 5, 6 year old who is learning biology as it always has been since time memorial, right? Since the beginning of time. How am I going to explain to that rational minded being, that innocent child, that there was a time when granddaddy was as a young man and he had to pretend that a boy could conceive of child? Now, I'm really hoping we are in what is sometimes being referred to as the post woke era. I genuinely hope we are there. But unfortunately, on a daily basis, especially when it comes to things like TikTok and X, I'm exposed to messaging that has me believe that some folks are doubling down on this absolute mental illness that we call wokeness or liberalism or quote unquote progressivism. Some folks are taking this to the absolute furthest extent. They will not let it go. They will not shake it. And for me, I pray to God that at least one of these videos will strike the hearts of those who have been given over to this severe form of mental illness so they can break free from it. Genuinely, I hope that I can say something that strikes a nerve to the point where somebody says, wait a minute, a boy can't be a girl and a girl can't be a boy. Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. And so here we are, still in a paradigm, in a timeline where stories like this exist. So I want to get into this. I haven't seen the whole video, but this is it's a woman pretending to be a man is the best way to describe it. But a man, quote unquote, probably the same type of man who would need a tampon in the bathroom, explaining their journey of having a child. So prepare yourself. If you are faint at heart, if you are easily nauseated, you might not want to watch this, but otherwise, well, you're here. So let's get into it.
Malachi Clark is the first UK man to conceive naturally and speak publicly about his experience, which he says he would happily do again.
Folks in the UK, or those who have family there, whatever it is, maybe your background is, what the hell is going on in the UK? What happened? I have family in the UK. I have family all up and down London, I think all the way down to Manchester. What happened? I know what happened in America. We lost our damn minds. And those of us who had maybe our right minds were fearful to say something. We're fearful of getting canceled or being bullied. But what the hell happened over there? Because things are looking real tragic right now in the UK. My God.
So I think it's important for me as a trans parent to tell my story, because the news has such a negative view at the moment about trans people, trans existence, and actually there are a lot of us just living our lives.
No, the news does not have a negative view. Actually, it's been doing too much of the opposite. It's been egging you on in your mental illness. I'm gonna call it what it is. I'm done sugarcoating messages and dancing around the subject. No, you're pretending. You've given yourself chemicals that have essentially done the opposite of castrate you, right? You have put yourself on testosterone and probably a medley of other different chemicals to pretend to be a man. The reason you have a womb that allows you to have a child is because you are a womb man. That's how that works. Basic biology. Teach it in the same way you would a kid in elementary school. Boy meets girl or man meets woman. Man and woman connect in the genital regions. There is a release of seed into the egg. A seed reaches the egg, fertilized. Baby. I mean, not right away, but, give it a little time to bake in there, and there's a baby. Man doesn't work. Woman doesn't work. I'm not saying that, you can't do what you want to do. You're grown. You make your own decisions. But the reality is it does not work. So if you had a baby, that means that it was man, woman, however it happened, whether it was artificial insemination, IVF, whatever it may have been, that's how it happened. There's no other way. We've discovered from the beginning of time, there's been no other way besides that one. No, the media is not being mean or misunderstanding. Any rational, sane-minded media would say, what the hell is going on? What are you talking about? But they haven't been doing enough of that. I know it because they've been perpetuating this and they've been egging it on. Well, the rights of these people, it's kind of like, let's say schizophrenia, right? Schizophrenia now becomes popularized and there's a lot of money to be made in schizophrenia, and you can just be you can choose to be schizophrenic or whatever, right? Like today I wake up, I'm like, I'm feeling schizo, right? I'm just feeling kind of schizo. So all of a sudden becomes trendy, and now everybody else has to accept that I'm schizo just because I'm saying so. Just because I said I am, and I want everybody else to accept it, to see that as normal, doesn't take away from the fact that I'm likely not, right? But also, if I am, that's a mental illness. Best to be treated. And the best thing they can do for me is to say, well, how do we treat this? The treatment is not in choppy. The treatment is not in hormone blocky. That's not the treatment. That's the delusion of it. That's like saying, those pink elephants that you're seeing, right? Whatever it is, the paranoia it's real. So we have to buy into that. You are doing that person a disservice when you are buying into their own delusions. It's actually destructive towards that individual. That's how I know they really don't give a damn about them. And I'm going to get into a story of, somebody who detransitioned and regretted it, because there's a multitude of these stories. And finally, we're able to talk about them without being completely canceled. Shout out to 47. My goodness.
Having families, having really successful jobs. And I don't think it is our doom and gloom. I'm not this scary trans person that the media paints. I'm just Mal.
Couple Malachi and Charlie, who live in Reading, are both the biological parents of their son Atlas, who's nearly 3. Malachi was born female and transitioned at the age of 17. He was on testosterone up until a year and a half before he conceived his son naturally. The couple went for coffee after meeting on Facebook, and
so why would you have to stop taking the medicines? Don't even call them medicines. In this context, it's not a medicine. It's not medicating anything. It's actually doing the complete opposite. It's creating more harm. It's doing an unnatural thing. So why would you have to stop taking that in order for you to conceive if you are indeed a man? Can somebody no, I'm so serious right now. Can somebody please make this make sense for me? I hope somebody who is into this type of ideology can really bring this to a rational conclusion for me today. I am at that point. I am at my ends when it comes to this. So I'm a man, right? And I'm a man, but I have to take certain chemicals in order to make me a man. You see, when you're born a man, there's no chemical you ever have to take in or male, right? If you're male, there's nothing you have to take to be male. You're just born that way. You are literally just born that way. There's no mental anything. It's just there. The equipment is there. Your structure, your biology or your physiology, it's baked in. Okay? That's how that works. So if you have to take chemicals for it, that means that you're not that. Now, there's a difference between maybe you're a male, but you have to take certain, whatever it is to make up for it. So maybe you need testosterone to make up for a deficit in testosterone. Just because you take testosterone as a woman doesn't make you a man. There's a lot of women who take it, in the bodybuilding world or whatever it is, whether you're for that, against it, that's between you and you. But yeah, so if you're taking those blockers and then you're pretending, in order for you to have a child, you now have to get off them. Why? Because you have to allow the natural process of what you actually are to kick in. That's what's going on here. You're a chick. You're a chick with a beard. And I know some chicks with beards, okay? It's a lot of mustaches out here. A lot of lineups, you understand me, within the female population. A lot of them. A lot of halfway beards that are going on out here. I know sisters who got more beards than the brothers. But that's a story for another time. Let us continue.
Malachi said about Charlie, the next day he came over to my house and then never moved out. A month later, the couple found out that they were pregnant.
I didn't feel any gender dysphoria. Being pregnant made me feel more Malachi than anything else. I think because I'm very sure of who I am, the rest doesn't matter. Like, my body's mine and it's male to me.
Malachi also says that he doesn't believe in taking up space for females.
I think the government, to make it more inclusive for LGBTQ plus families and parents, is to just listen and make additional space for us. It's not taking up space for women or people that birth.
Well, tell that to the young women who literally had space taken up in the sports that they worked their entire lives to essentially master, just to end up getting that silver, to end up getting that bronze, or not even placing because a dude or a couple of dudes stepped in the way and said, oh yeah, we're girls now too, so, step aside. I don't know where the making space is there. Or when you have pretend women now getting different roles that women should. How about Women of the Year awards, things of that nature, right? Taking up space. It's funny that the feminists fought so long and so hard for women's rights just to have dudes step in and be like, okay, enough of that. We're the chicks now. It's incredible. And then you have all these so-called feminists on the left who stand behind them. You are literally standing up for your own eradication, for your own non-existence. It's incredible to see. It really is. It truly, truly is. It is fascinating. But yeah, I'm curious to get y'all thoughts on this one. I might start doing more of these types of stories and really going all the way there because, this needs to be addressed. By the time my grandbabies get here, this can't even be a conversation. I hope they're confused as hell. I hope they think I'm crazy. I'm making it up. I appreciate you for tapping into this video. And if you would like to show some love to the channel, make sure to click the link below titled Buy Me a Coffee, or you can send a Cash App, or, just keep showing up.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 365, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising. They see your light shine, that's why they so frustrated.